Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Peak in Science. We only consider rain as a source of water, or sometimes we consider rain as a refreshment gift to us by the nature. But what if I tell you that it is beyond that? It is a connection between a sky and a land. It's a gift that provides by the nature to all the living beings. Why I am telling you all this is because of the recent research which shows that the raindrops contain one of the important essential vitamin that is essential for every human being and that we can't produce. We rely on other animals to fulfill the requirement of that vitamin. In this video, we are going to do a conversation to find out whether this research is a sign that shows that raindrop is not just a water. It contains a lot more than that. We will try to understand how we are ruining this nature gift and what needs to be done. Hi, I am Dr. Aman Bajpayee, and in this video, we are going to zooming in into the raindrop. Watch this video till the end.
Okay, picture this. Just a single raindrop. You know how it feels clean, kind of fresh. But what if that drop carried, well, more than just water? What if it had something vital, like vitamin B12? You know, that nutrient our bodies actually can't make, essential for nerves, blood. Sounds a bit like fantasy, doesn't it? But the truth might be even more amazing. Today, we're really digging into how the sky might, actually be feeding the earth one drop at a time. This whole deep dive is about exploring that connection, how maybe centuries of human experience lines up with some surprising new science.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating is the history here. For literally thousands of years, people, across different cultures, from small tribal groups to, big ancient civilizations, they didn't just drink rainwater, they often saw it as sacred. They trusted it. What they couldn't possibly have known back then, but what science is kind of starting to show now, is that rainwater isn't just a hero, it's more complex. And that really begs the question, doesn't it? What else has it been carrying all this time?
Right. So when you say rain picks up more than just water, what are we actually talking about? Is it just like dust and random stuff floating around? Yeah. Or is there something really specific, maybe something surprising you found in the research that makes this whole nutrition idea so, interesting?
It's definitely not just random stuff. Think of rain falling through the atmosphere like a kind of net. It collects tiny living things, microbes. But here's where it gets really cool. A lot of these aren't just, accidental passengers. A good chunk of them are specific bacteria that actually come from the soil. We're talking about types like Propionibacterium or Pseudomonas. These are naturally found in soil, and crucially, these specific types are known for one key thing. They can make vitamin B12. They actually produce it.
Hold on, so these tiny B12 factories are literally getting, swept up from the ground? How on earth do they make that journey all the way up into the sky and then back down again?
Exactly. It sounds wild, but yeah. When the conditions are right, think strong winds, big storms, even just regular evaporation processes. These microscopic B12 producers get lifted up, often attached to tiny soil rust particles, into the atmosphere. They can travel huge distances up there, sometimes getting pulled into the process of cloud formation itself. And once they're part of a cloud, they just ride the elevator back down inside raindrops. It's a completely natural cycle, happens all the time. And it's not just theory. When scientists have actually gone out and collected rainwater samples, especially in really clean, untouched places, like deep forests, high mountains, even some organic farms far from pollution, they've consistently found detectable trace amounts of B12.
Wow. It's an amazing picture. Microscopic factories falling from the sky. But okay, let's be real for a second. How much B12 are we actually talking about here? In like a single drop or even a glass of rainwater? Is this enough to actually, make a difference to our daily needs? Or is it more about the principle of the thing?
That's a really important question. And yeah, the amounts found are definitely trace. We're talking very, very small quantities. So no, this isn't about telling people to ditch their B12 supplements or rely on rain for their daily intake. You absolutely wouldn't get enough that way. But what it is compelling evidence, proof really, that the sky and the earth are connected in ways we maybe hadn't fully appreciated. It forces us to kind of rethink nutrient cycles. It suggests there might be this powerful, maybe long forgotten link, a sort of background environmental source of nutrients that played a role in, human diets and health for a very long time. Science is only just rediscovering this, and it also gives us a fascinating way to look back at some traditional knowledge, right?
Yeah, you mentioned traditional wisdom. I was thinking about that. You hear about indigenous communities historically. Once you relied heavily on natural water sources, rain, rivers, springs, and often they showed no signs of B12 deficiency, even if their diets weren't super rich in animal products. Could this atmospheric B12, this rain-delivered nutrient, actually be part of that picture, a kind of hidden factor they were benefiting from? Or are there other things we need to consider too?
That's exactly the kind of questions scientists are grappling with now. It's complex, for sure. Diet is obviously the main factor for B12. But could this constant, low-level input from the environment, especially from rainwater in places with healthy soil and regular rainfall, be a significant contributing factor? Possibly. It definitely challenges our modern, maybe oversimplified view that B12 only comes from animals or supplements. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, our relationship with the environment for essential nutrients was broader, more intricate than we currently assume. It opens up thinking about how human health might have evolved alongside these subtle environmental inputs over millennia.
Okay, so that's a really beautiful idea. It's pure natural form, this cycle. But what does it mean for us now? Because let's face it, the rain that falls today, it doesn't always land on pristine forests or untouched mountainsides. It falls on cities choked with smog. On industrial areas, it washes over, plastic roofing.
And that is the critical modern problem, isn't it? This amazing natural phenomenon, this potential gift from the sky. It now happens in a world we've significantly altered. When rain falls through polluted air or over urban landscapes, that raindrop isn't just carrying potential B12 producing microbes anymore. It's also picking up heavy metals, persistent organic pollutants, microplastics, all sorts of stuff. So the B12 story becomes almost secondary to the contamination story in those areas. It highlights the unintended consequences, how our activities can disrupt or even poison these fundamental life-sustaining natural cycles that, frankly, we're only just beginning to fully grasp. It really shifts the focus, doesn't it? From, wow, look what nature provides, to, oh, what are we doing to what nature provides?
That really hits home. It makes you think. So the next time it rains, maybe pause for a second. I want you to try and see it differently. You're not just watching the weather roll in. You're potentially witnessing this ancient dynamic cycle of life playing out literally from the sky, connecting to the soil, and ultimately maybe even influencing things right down to the cellular level.
Exactly. And I think ultimately what this deep dive really leaves us with is that incredible, maybe slightly humbling possibility that the sky has perhaps always been feeding us in subtle ways, maybe one invisible vitamin at a time. It's just a powerful reminder, I think, that nature doesn't just operate on these grand, obvious scales. It works in intricate detail. It whispers its complexities if we're willing to listen closely.